In the early hours of the day, the Iranian capital jolted awake when a powerful explosion pierced the silence. Air defense batteries lit the horizon, yet the glare could not mask the deeper shock. Israel had sent its aircraft across regional skies to strike Iranian territory. Within minutes, the government in Jerusalem confirmed a preemptive operation and placed its forces on high alert. Tension between the two countries had been escalating for months, but a crucial turning point arrived only one day earlier. The International Atomic Energy Agency's board approved a censure resolution by 19 votes, its first in nearly 2 decades to declare Iran in violation of non-proliferation commitments. Tehran's immediate answer was defiant. Officials vowed to build a new enrichment complex, a declaration that, in Israeli eyes, erased any remaining safety margin. Israeli planners argue that Iran's enriched uranium stockpile has inched perilously close to weapons grade. Agency data indicate that material concentrated to 60% purity could, if further refined, yield enough fissile core for roughly half a dozen nuclear devices. That assessment, say Israeli officials, collides with the nation's stated policy that an Iranian bomb represents an unacceptable threat. Iran's conventional arsenal has meanwhile expanded. Recent military displays showcased Khorramshahr-class ballistic missiles with an advertised range of 2,000 kilometers, alongside newly revealed underground missile cities. Among the systems presented was the Qatar 380, described by engineers as highly resistant to jamming and accurate across the Middle East. For Israel, the pairing of advancing missiles and near-weapons-grade uranium elevated the sense of urgency. Shortly after midnight, that urgency translated into action. A formation of stealth fighters crossed regional airspace, refueled in flight and released precision munitions against 3 primary objectives: a centrifuge hall at the Natanz Enrichment Complex, a ballistic missile research laboratory, and a drone assembly site on the outskirts of Tehran. Satellite imagery captured hours later showed plumes of smoke rising from at least one facility despite Iran's claim that most incoming weapons had been intercepted. Unverified intelligence circulated that the commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, General Hossein Salami, may have been killed. If confirmed, his removal would deal a blow to Iran's external operations network and its missile program, where he served as chief strategist. Tehran's authorities have yet to publish casualty figures, but emergency units were observed erecting barriers around damaged blocks. Iran's leadership now faces a critical decision tree. One path is indirect retaliation through allied forces such as Hezbollah in Lebanon or Houthi units in Yemen, a method Tehran has employed in previous crises. The second, far riskier, option is a direct missile barrage against Israeli urban centers. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has previously warned that an attack on nuclear infrastructure would invite the launch of 1,000 ballistic missiles. Revolutionary Guard air defense crews are reported to be at full readiness, and anti-ship units along the Strait of Hormuz have increased patrols. Governments worldwide moved quickly to contain escalation. Senior officials in Washington urged restraint while quietly approving additional fighter deployments to regional bases. European capitals issued coordinated statements calling on Iran to avoid large-scale retaliation and on Israel to comply with existing ceasefire arrangements in Gaza. Energy markets reacted instantly. Crude oil futures spiked amid fears that commercial traffic through the Persian Gulf could be disrupted. A military comparison underscores the high stakes. Israel fields the Middle East's only 5th-generation combat aircraft, supported by multi-layered interceptors from Iron Dome at lower altitudes to the Arrow system against long-range ballistic threats. Yet the country's standing army counts roughly 170,000 personnel and lacks strategic depth. Iran, by contrast, maintains what analysts regard as the region's largest missile stockpile, well above 3,000 projectiles, and can call upon nearly 900,000 reservists, though its air force relies mainly on aging platforms with limited electronic warfare capability. Domestic politics also shape the confrontation. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has faced judicial inquiries and widespread protests. Since the Hamas incursion last October, successive military operations in Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria have rallied parts of the Israeli electorate around a security agenda. Striking Iran, officials insist, is about eliminating an existential danger, yet critics argue it also bolsters the premier's leadership image at a fraught moment. For the United States administration, the timing is awkward. With an election looming, policymakers seek both to reassure an ally and to prevent energy price shocks at home. While American aircraft provided no direct support for the raid, additional air defense assets have been moved into position should the conflict widen. As dusk approaches in Tehran, residents scan the horizon for further flashes, and in Tel Aviv emergency alerts remain active. Whether Iran's response emerges through proxy attacks or an unprecedented missile salvo, the next moves will reverberate far beyond the region. For now, shipping lanes grow crowded with vessels steering away from the Gulf, and diplomats work the phones to stop a dangerous chain reaction from gathering pace. The coming hours will reveal whether the strike marks a brief peak in a long confrontation or the opening act of a broader war.